The United States government props up the fossil fuel industry. Our federal government provides more than $20 billion in direct financial support to fossil fuel companies a year. But that number just scratches the surface. A 2019 IMF report showed that once you account for the costs of toxic fossil fuel pollution, the federal government actually pays as much as $649 billion a year to the fossil fuel industry. This must end. We know the devastating impacts of air pollution from fossil fuels. It is poisoning communities around the country, most often Black and brown communities, and quite literally killing people. And then, of course, there are the greenhouse gases driving the climate crisis. The fossil fuel companies know these climate impacts too. More disasters, more food insecurity, more pandemics, and have run a decades-long misinformation campaign to avoid paying for them. The American people and our government should not be picking up the bill. The good news? President Biden already committed to ending big polluter handouts.
And I'd stop giving to the oil industry, I'd stop giving them federal subsidies.
So, how does the Biden administration go about doing this? First, they stop giving any direct financial support to fossil fuel companies. That means stopping direct funding, tax incentives, and accounting loopholes that give fossil fuel companies money they did not earn. Second, they must stop permitting fossil fuel companies to use and abuse public lands and resources. Fortunately, the Biden administration has already temporarily stopped granting new fossil fuel permits on public lands. Congress should make that permanent, then work with the administration to recover and terminate existing fossil fuel leases. Finally, we need to make polluters pay for the damage they have caused. Fossil fuel companies are poisoning people, especially those in marginalized communities. Studies have shown fossil fuel use accounts for 190,000 avoidable deaths a year in the United States. And last year alone, 22 climate-fueled disasters cost American communities more than $95 billion. The federal government must hold fossil fuel companies accountable for the damage they are causing. That could mean implementing a carbon fee, increasing Superfund taxes, eliminating liability loopholes, and prosecuting polluters when they break the law. Workers and communities must be protected as we transition away from fossil fuels. But we can no longer allow fossil fuel CEOs to line their pockets and the pockets of their wealthy shareholders with taxpayer dollars. President Biden and Congress must meet this moment and end all federal fossil fuel subsidies.